I always like to just kind of equate it back to the soul of the sport, you know? It's like, just making turns out there for me is one of the funnest things I ever get to do in life.
Your vertical feet, you can measure the snow depth, but when you're skiing down, none of that really matters. It's just the experience that you're getting at that moment is something that can't be quantified.
We've been coming to Points North Heli-Adventures in Cordova, Alaska for so long. When we started, company founder Kevin Quinn was single, and Jessica Sobolowski was his most in-demand guide. These days, Kevin and Jessica are married, and there's already a waiting list to ski with little Kinley.
Meet me, darling, won't you? I've been waiting for you. At my lonesome white table.
There's a helicopter.
Ready, willing, and able. Torn into.
Flying in the heli is super fun to hop in those little machines and zip around. 1 minute you could be 50 feet off the ground, then you look down and you're 5,000 feet off the ground.
Tim Dirtshey is new to the Points North family, but he's already skiing the place like a regular. For Seth Westcott, this is his home away from home.
When you're on those bigger faces, it feels like you're kind of going through this whole other space. It's spontaneous, and you're getting to just kind of feel like it's the creative part of snowboarding again.
The terrain up here is what makes it so unique and so different from anywhere else you can ski in the world. The snow forms in just spectacular ways. There's just so many cool features.
I spend all year chasing snow around, but for me, this is where I really want to end it every year. It never gets old. Like that first lap when we kind of take off and go out between these two old docks here, it's the coolest feeling. Just taking off and looking out over the water, and you're just looking for what you want to go play on. It's always a rush. You get out of that heli on this little pad, that feeling of solitude, but also that extreme privilege that it is to have a run like that, you know, sitting below you all to yourself. That's a really special thing in the ski world. There's that thrill of dropping in on things that you don't really maybe know everything that's going to happen, and just that ability to put yourself in the moment and feel really alive while you're out there. It doesn't matter what's going to happen tomorrow because you're living for the moment and you're totally engrossed in it. You're loving being there and being present like that. So people who commit themselves to this lifestyle, if you got to go take advantage of it, like there might not be another one tomorrow.
Like there's no tomorrow? Really? Like the end of time, no more world, no more skiing? Nah. It's more like you get it while you can, while the getting's good. No looking back. No regrets, right? Seth's a two-time Olympic gold medalist, and as accomplished as they come in Alaska's Chugach Range. He doesn't have one chromosome of shoulda, woulda, coulda in his DNA. But if he could have one do-over,
I guess if I could, I'd spend a few more minutes at the top of that run with Kip. Listening, learning, and laughing with him about the run that we were about to hit. If I could, I'd make that moment last forever.
Kip Carr was a member of the Points North family, a guide with 7 years under his belt in the Chugach Range, a guardian, a mentor and a friend of countless skiers and snowboarders. From Alaska rookies to veterans like Seth, Kip lived every day like there was no tomorrow, right up until there wasn't. He passed away last spring deep in California's Sierra Nevada mountains. It's the kind of place he spent a lifetime bringing others, taking us to the edge of what we thought possible, and then showing us what's on the other side.
It's awesome when your guide that's there is just as fired up as you are, to be out there to rip that run that's laying below you. Every time I've spent time in the mountains up here with Kip, it's been really special. He had a real passion for being out in the hills. He was a really unique individual, and I think there's just a part of his kind of spirit, that passion for spending time in the mountains, the whole lifestyle of it, that I really identified with him a lot. And mostly, he was such a positive individual. He brought this great energy when you're out in the field, and he was so fired up about just going to find and ski new terrain.
Glacier with Kip, Seth, and Tim. We've got 50% on board.
Every time I get out there, I get excited to ski the terrain here. It never gets old, you know, it's always fun. I love skiing, I'm a ski bum. I'll be a ski bum the rest of my life.
It's a funny thing about living each moment in the mountains like it's your last. Most of the time it isn't. But somehow, when you embrace every run, every lift ride, every vista you encounter at the top like there will never be another, you find the next one to be all the sweeter for it.
Feel pretty lucky that we get to do these things, that's for damn sure. You know, our lives are so hard. Where am I going skiing next?